Hello, Rachel.
Hi.
Thank you for talking to Dark Matter.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
You've had quite an interesting life experience, shall we say. I've been reading all about your career and adventures on your website.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Yes.
You practice martial arts and you were a body double for Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider.
Yes, Tomb Raider 1, that's absolutely right.
So did you actually perform the fight moves?
No, I didn't. That would have been a stunt lady. But it was an interesting situation how I got cast, if you'd like me to explain.
Oh, please.
So I probably was around 21 at the time, and I'd got a call to get measured up to be a body double for this actress who wasn't that well known. She was known and I knew who she was. It was Angelina Jolie, and I was like, oh no, absolutely not. I'm not going to have the same body as her, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't go to the audition. And then a week later I got another phone call saying they've measured up hundreds of girls and they're saying that you look like you could be fitting her body and have the same measurements. So I said, okay, I'll go to the audition, but I know it's not going to work out. So I walked into the audition room, and the costume designer, who was Lindy Hemming, she's won an Oscar and she also dresses all the Bond girls, interestingly enough. She took one look at me and she said, you're her, you absolutely have the same measurements. And I was like, no way. And so she measured me and it was true, pretty much. Close anyway. That was at the time. I don't know if we're the same shape anymore. But and that was really interesting. So I'd worked on Tomb Raider for about a month, and then what was nice was I got actually cast in an acting job after a month, and I decided to obviously do that because it was a gig for 2 years on TV in England, which was nice for me as an actor to be working rather than as a body double. So I missed an opportunity to go to Cambodia for a month, yes. But yeah, that was the story of it. And the next time I saw Lindy Hemming was on the set of James Bond, and she was like, oh, I can't believe you've gone from a body double to a Bond girl. So, yeah.
So that TV series that you were cast in, was that Sci-Fright?
Yes, that was Sci-Fright. Played a character called Nina, and it was very popular, and I loved doing the show, doing it, yes.
Apparently she was quite an interesting character.
She was a horror host, but I wasn't as myself. I wasn't a host as myself. I was in character, and she was a little crazy, but a sweetheart and darling. And she'd kill people she didn't like, but it was their fault, And she wore kind of kinky outfits, but wasn't kinky really herself. She just thought, oh, this is cute. This is a nice outfit. She was innocent in many ways. And there was some weird background story of something that happened to her as a child. So she'd remained a child as an adult, so to speak. She was adorable. Loved her.
So what was the best costume you wore?
Well, it was a fantastic PVC suit that was beautiful, dominatrix style. Very nice, very classy, not vulgar at all. And I had this wonderful neck piece with the little spikes that came out to about here all the way around, and then just the longest ponytail, and it was and a whip which she just used just to twirl, just for fun. She was innocent, sort of.
You've gone from the body double to the main roles. Have you performed any of your own action scenes?
I did a movie called The Tournament with Robert Carlyle and Ving Rhames, and I had a scene in there where I did the car stunt scenes. I did 360-degree spins and crashed the car and that sort of thing. So that was fun. Yes.
And you mentioned earlier being the Bond girl, so
yes.
You met, was it Lindy Hemming?
Yes, Lindy Hemming. She's quite a well-known costumier, and she's won an Oscar, maybe a couple of Oscars now, I think. Very nice British lady, and she dresses quite a few of the well-known films that have been filmed in Pinewood Studios, including the James Bond films. Yes.
So you first met her on the set of Tomb Raider, and then you met her again.
Yes, on Die Another Day. That's interesting. She's nice, lovely lady. She still remembers me. I think I bumped into her somewhere at a party. Yeah.
What's your best memory from Die Another Day?
My best memory from Die Another Day. Well, I do remember Pierce Brosnan kissing my ear and the side of my neck, and after the scene realising, oh, that wasn't written in the script. And then the makeup artist coming to powder my face in between the take going, oh gosh, what's going on here? That's not written in the script. Putting his arms around me. No. It was nice. The whole experience was the best memory, and to be honest, every year or every time a Bond film comes out, you know, it's coming out again, it's 10 years later since Die Another Day came out. I'm in Australia, it's the first time I've been here, met George Lazenby, and you know, I'm still enjoying the franchise so much. It's just fantastic.
Yes. You've travelled around the world and visited many ethnic groups. What's the most unbelievable story you've ever had?
Unbelievable story on my travels?
Yes, like when you talk to friends about what happened, nobody believes that it's real.
Oh, it's usually everything. It's just hard to kind of understand. I have no fear, really, of where I could possibly go, but I obviously do a lot of research. I'm not silly. I will go where one can go, and I plan it out very carefully, my tour. I'll always find a local guide, someone that's from the region, from the area, not someone that's been brought in. So travelled everywhere from so many different places, but there was one time I decided to go hunting with the Huarani that live in the Amazon. So we'd taken this long ride, and then we'd gone a long walk into the jungle to go hunting with them. And this community, and the men and the women, they don't wear very much. I mean, the men, and I really wanted to see this because I found it extraordinary. They have a very simple life, but the men, you can see their bits, right? So they actually hoist their bit up, tie it around a vine and wrap it around their waist, and it really is quite extraordinary. I'm fascinated by it. It's their tradition, it's their culture, there's nothing vulgar about it, that's how they are, you know. But on the way there, the local guide said, 12, 15 years ago, this community killed a group of missionaries that came to try and convert them. And I'm like, what are you doing telling me this? So that was kind of a crazy story, but he said, no, not to worry. You have to understand they came in there and told them that they were this and that, and the way they were living was kind of crazy and gross, which it isn't. So when we entered this community in the jungle, in the Amazon, we had to drink this white kind of drink in a bowl, like a coconut or something. And the guide said, when you get there, you're going to, as a welcoming gift, you have to drink this thing. And he said, I have no idea what's in it. And it's like I think it's like a yucca kind of drink. So I did, I had to drink it, and it tasted fine. I don't know what it was, or what was in it. It's like a white, thick soup thing. So I drank that, and so they welcomed us. Oh, and then we had to kind of be looked at by this little lady that had jaguar teeth around her neck, which was kind of cool, and a necklace. And so we went hunting. And then we had to call off the hunt because while we were hunting and looking for armadillos and creatures, we suddenly heard a roar above our head, and we disturbed a jaguar. Sleeping during the day, we had it was like not a huge growl, but it was like I don't know, the sound was unmistakable, but it was so exciting. So that was a really cool adventurous story. Loved that story. Totally go back there again. In fact, I wanted to stay there the night. It's kind of a long story.
What are you planning to talk about at Armageddon?
Oh, planning to talk about at Armageddon? With people that come to visit and talk to me.
When you're going to be doing a panel or presentation.
Oh, I know. You know what? I don't know. I will just, whatever's questions thrown at me, I'll answer it the best I can. And I've often thought, I'll say this, I'll say that, and I'll plan. And when I plan, it never comes out correctly, so I just kind of go with my thought. So we'll see. But that's a good question.
Have you been to many of these conventions before?
Not really, not many. I've been to a few, but I think this might be my biggest one I've been to. I've been to another big one in England, but it's not, I don't do them so often, no.
What's the strangest question you've been asked?
quite know the answer to that off the top of my head. I get given strange gifts sometimes.
What's the strangest gift you've ever received?
Some odd things. Teddy bears seem to be... Oh, someone gave me a pair of vampire teeth once. That's not so odd, but he actually had vampire teeth that were fixed into his mouth, and he gave me a pair of vampire teeth, which is interesting.
Yes. How are you finding Australia?
Nice. My first time here, 40th or 41st country I'm visiting. After this I go to New Zealand. But it's very nice. It's a little bit more expensive than I expected, but it seems as though everyone here has a good life and the food is good. And interestingly, everyone seems to work very hard here. Now I live in New York, people work hard there, but there's stress, I can feel it on the street. But there isn't that here. So it's kind of a really interesting combination of people working hard and at the same time being somewhat laid back. It's interesting. I don't think I've come across that anywhere.
Well, Australians do have a reputation for being laid back.
They work hard here, don't they too? And it's very clean. It's one of the cleanest cities I've been to, and I'm sure Sydney's the same, I'm not sure, but it's not like there's much rubbish or trash on the streets. It's interesting, people are very well dressed and don't care really what you seem to look like or wear, which is nice.
Okay, well thank you very much for talking to Dark Matter.